It's time for Huntington North Vikings basketball on your Huntington North Sports Authority, Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH. Before we head to the hardwood, we'd like to thank the following sponsors for making tonight's broadcast possible. Vippus State Bank, First Federal Savings Bank, Hartburg Roth Garrett Halverstadt Law, Nove, Rich Roofing Systems, and Wise Guys Downtown. Now let's head to the arena for the fast-paced action of Vikings basketball on your home for Huntington North Sports, Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH.
Good afternoon, Viking listeners. I'm Ben Roth, and I'm here with James Linker. And tonight, the Huntington North Vikings will take on the Columbia City Eagles in a classic NE8 matchup.
Yeah, super exciting game here tonight. Both teams with great records sitting atop of the NE8 at number 1 and number 3, tied with New Haven. Huntington North 9-3 coming into tonight. Columbia City 10-1. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I think both these teams are evenly matched up. They just have great teams on both sides. You know, Huntington has 2 more losses than Columbia City, but both of those were in a winter tournament, so a little bit off, not like regular season. So I think this could be a 3-point swing either way for these teams.
Yeah, I agree. Last year being just a 2-point game, ending on a Blaine Freiberger game-winning shot, 66-64 being that score. Very high-scoring game for an NE8 game. Usually these games are very defensive-oriented, a lot of more conservative basketball, and I think tonight it will be more like that. I think this will be a low-scoring game. Both teams having a lot of length and a lot of speed. It's going to be exciting to see the way. I mean, both teams got to take care of the basketball. That's going to be the deciding factor, who can make shots and who can take care of the ball.
Yeah, and one thing to touch on here is that both these teams just kind of leading this conference. You know, Columbia City sitting at the first spot, Huntington North at that 3, both with great records. And like you said, taking care of that basketball is important. Huntington North, when they're on their best, that's when they're causing turnovers. You know, this long, lengthy Huntington North team really forces a lot of mistakes out of offenses. And if Huntington North can get that rolling tonight, I think they can find their groove.
Yeah, Huntington's they've scored less than 50 points in their last 2 games, being very, very defensive games, not making a lot of shots. Nobody really scoring over 20 like they've had with Titus and Braden Freiberger. However, I think with these last 2 games, they've shown a lot of growth in playing as a team. They've allowed themselves to not be it's me time, it's I get to go score this time. They've allowed themselves to move the ball around, play at a slower pace. They've shown that they can press up, they can play in that speed, but they can also slow the game down, bring the ball with them, do what Coach Thompson wants them to do. You know, he preaches playing as a team. He has all year. On all the interviews we've done with him, he's always said it. We need to play with us, play as a full unit, as one. And Coach just likes to touch on that, and I think it's huge for this team if they can continue to do that and put up points.
Yeah, and one thing to touch on here is both these teams coming off of big wins. You know, Huntington North went down to Mississinawa, took home a big victory, 44-35, and quite on the other end, Columbia City really handled Belmont well, 62-34, so almost double their score. And, you know, Columbia City has all the medals. You know, they're sitting first in the NE8, they're 3rd in the USA poll for 3A basketball, 20th in the IBCA poll, and then they're 18th in defensive average in the state and 10th in marginal average. So this team has all the accolades as a team, and so they just really can get after. They're a very dominant team in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, I think tonight Columbia City, really to win this game, they got to take care of the ball. They cannot allow Huntington North to create turnovers like they have against every team all year. I think Columbia City has great scorers. They are able to get to the basket. They do a great job of shooting 75 or 35% from 3-point, 70% from free throw, and overall 50% for the field. Those are great numbers for a high school basketball team. And I think they do a great job of getting outside and making those shots. But tonight, if they want to win, they want to beat Huntington North, I think you have to make shots from behind the arc, because Huntington North has a great big guy situation. They're very good around the basket. Their defense is phenomenal. And I think for Columbia City to get ahead in this game, they have to make threes. They have to be aggressive, but then they have to kick out, and they got to make their shot. 35% is a great number, but it's got to be closer to 40 tonight.
Yeah, no, this is a game that's been 50-50 throughout the years. I know Huntington North has won 22 of the last 40 with Columbia City being 18, but this is a real rivalry. I mean, both these teams come in every single year. and that could be a matter of at home. Huntington North went into the game last year. They were projected to lose. We were at home. Huntington North brought the crowd, and we came away with a buzzer beater win. I think it could be a win like that tonight. I think coming into the Eagle Den, both these teams having great starts to their season, it could be either way. I'm seeing a 3-point swing for either team. It just depends how this crowd is. Huntington North has traveled really well here tonight. We have a full-size pit, just like if it were a home game, and we have filled our side of the stands. So we're a presence tonight as Huntington.
Yeah, I'd argue that this pit is the best one we've had all year, even with the home games. Like, there is a lot of people here, a lot of people that are very excited. This is obviously, like we've talked about, a great rivalry between the two schools in every sport. Football, great rivalry. Baseball, great rivalry. Volleyball, great rivalry. They just love competing against each other, and I think this is going to be a great show of it.
Yeah, I kind of caught up with Coach Thompson here to see what he thinks coming into this game. Coming into tonight's game, where do you think the Vikes really need to excel?
Hey, we just need to come in with confidence and know we can. If we play our way, we're going to play with anybody on our schedule. This is a tough place to play, and just bottom line, play the Viking way, and things will be good. We'll have a chance at the end.
Yeah, what areas do you think we excel or have advantages in?
It's a pretty evenly matched team. I think we set more screens than they do. If we find some slips. Defensively, we kind of get after it a little more, and they play off a little bit. So it's kind of a chess match of attrition. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and throughout this week, how have the Vikings' practices been? What's their mentality coming into this rivalry game?
It's been nice. They're learning how to win and how to continue winning, and we've had a great week of practice, and we finished off with the best one last night.
Yeah, and are there any injuries that we need to worry about for the Vikes tonight?
Nope, no injuries, no excuses. We got everybody ready to go.
Sounds good. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thanks, Ben.
So as Coach said, it could be a tight one tonight. Huntington North, they travel well as a team, but it's going to be a grind all night. I think it can be a matter of who wants it more in the end.
Yeah, I like what Coach was saying. He did a great job of explaining, the way they've had all week to practice. No games throughout this week. Their last game being last week. They've done a great job of just being aggressive in practice. They like to get around, get out there, and just have good nights. He said it's very encouraging to hear that last night was a great practice. That's always a good standard. And, talking to some of the guys on the team, very, very excited between all of those guys that are in that locker room. I'm excited, man. There's so much that can happen tonight. There's such a great potential for this game, and this could be a classic.
Yeah, I think this could be the biggest game of the year for Huntington North. I know all day and all week at school, it's been the game tonight, the game tonight, the game tonight, and it's just that's all that's been the talk. Huntington North is fired up about this game. There's a deep rivalry. Columbia City's trying to get back for what happened at Huntington North last year, a last-second buzzer beater for the win. But I just think no matter what we do, it's going to be a tight game, and Huntington North is here to show. It's been the talk of the town all week long.
Yeah, if we talk about Huntington North a little bit on the stat side of it, Titus Schultz leading the way with 15 points per game. Grant behind him with 8. Also, Dalton Husband at just under 13. I think tonight, you got to look towards those secondary guys. I think they're going to really attack Titus tonight. I think they're going to force him to dribble, force him to make mistakes. I think they're going to put pressure full core on Grant and Grog bringing up the ball all night. We've seen a lot of that out of opposing teams playing Huntington North. A lot of full court presses, a lot of zones, just a lot of mixed up defensive. They've done a great job of adjusting on the fly, being able to be coachable, getting out there, doing what they need to do. And I'm curious to see what Columbia City will bring out in order to speed up or slow down the Huntington North offense.
Yeah, I'm not sure because Huntington North just does a great job on all levels. I mean, we're just really we're on threats on all levels of the basketball. You got Dalton Husband and Blaine Freiberger underneath, both very physical basketball players. Then on the flip side, you have Titus Schultz who can shoot that 3 like no other. I mean, Huntington North, we can score everywhere. And I think it's very the same for this Eagles team. They have some taller guys, Owen Marshall, 6'4" guard, Trey Deckman, 6'4" forward. So I just think for both teams, we have threats all over the court. So it's a matter of who has a good night and who doesn't.
Yeah, I 100% agree. This Huntington North team, I'd say look out for Braden Freiberger. Look out for Grant Campbell to have great games today. See if they'll slack off on him on defense. I'm excited to see who's going to take that notch and who's going to step up in a big way tonight.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams, it's a matter of who steps up. Last year was Ethan Zahn, 29 points for the team. I think it could come from anybody. We've seen it multiple times throughout this week, or I'm sorry, this year. It can come from Grant, it can come from Freiberger, it can come from Titus, it can come from Dolan. It's just a matter of who wants it more that night, and that's what I think that makes it so good. Is you never know. You never know who's the best player on the court's going to be that night. It can really change. When you lock down one person, it can switch to the other.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's who's the hot hand, who can you keep feeding the ball to, who's going to make plays for you.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick moment to sing our national anthem.
And your City Eagles. In the spirit of school, we ask you all fans to act responsibly and courteously to those around you. Abusive language or disorderly conduct is unacceptable and not welcome at HNHS events. Let's support student athletes, coaches, officials, and your fellow fans in respect they deserve. Your cooperation is appreciated. Please enjoy the game. Rest of the look at both these stands in the gymnasium. Please take a moment to know location next year's school event for emergency. Columbia City High School is a tobacco-free campus. Please refrain from using any type of tobacco products while on school grounds. Also, let your fans know that something is cocktail. At this time, we're going to please stand in parade. Face the flag. Gentlemen, please remove your caps as we honor America with a playing of our national anthem by the Columbia City High School Band. And now, let's meet the Vikings from Huntington North. Starters, number 4, Brody Coleman.
Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, Huntington North is going to take on the Columbia City Eagles tonight in a classic rivalry matchup in the NE8. And I think the winner of this game could decide who will lead the conference. I mean, this is a big one, boys.
Yeah, we got 3 teams tied at the top. We talked about it earlier. New Haven having a great season. Columbia City is at number 1, and Huntington North sitting at number 3. This is a very, very enticing and deciding matchup in that NE8 conference. So much battle every year for that top spot. One loss can win it. One loss absolutely can win it. It depends who you're playing. You got to get a good night. You got to make the right decisions. Offensively, defensively, how are you going to play this game? At the end of the day, if you're Huntington, you have to be able to move the ball up the court. You have to be able to play at your own speed. This team is going to play up to their speed as much as they can, but because both teams have a lot of athleticism, both teams have a lot of length. It's be interesting to see the way that Huntington controls the basketball. Are they going to allow Columbia City to be able to control that basketball and play the way they want to play, or is Huntington going to take over?
Yeah, here for Huntington North to start, it's the same 5 we've seen all year. Senior Grant Campbell, 8.3 points per game. Sophomore Braden Freiberger, 6.8 points per game. Titus Schultz, Jr., 15.3 points per game and our leading scorer. Then you jump down the list to Dalton Husband, Senior, 12.6 points per game. And brother of Braden, Blaine Freiberger, 7.7 points per game. So Huntington North coming out with their classic 5 that we've seen all season long.
Yeah, very exciting. Columbia City just brought out their starters. Go ahead.
Yeah, so here for the starters here for Columbia City, it's going to be Ian St. John, sophomore guard. We have Owen Marshall, senior guard. Josh Elberly, senior guard. Landon Richmond, senior forward. and Trey Deckman, senior forward. So these are all seniors here, or for the most part, seniors besides one sophomore here for East Noble. So they've got some experience underneath their belt.
Yeah, excited to see the way that Columbia City will play with their experience, because Huntington North, being young, is very experienced as well. Titus Schultz, being a junior, has done a great job at stepping up into his role throughout his freshman and sophomore year, now being the lead guy at the end of the day. But also, Blaine and Dalton, both being seniors, they've played since sophomore year. All three of those guys having 3 years of varsity experience. Then you got sophomore Braden Freiberger, who's stepped up huge this year, had a great season so far after playing JV his freshman year. And then Grant Campbell, coming back from a lot of injuries the last couple of years, been a fringe varsity guy, but now stepping into that starting role, doing a great job of attacking and being cautious with the basketball, but also knowing when to be aggressive, not making those dumb mistakes. I think this team has just as much as experience as an all-senior starting lineup.
Yeah, and I would just argue that we match up very well with this team. You know, height-wise, none of us have slow, bigger, lengthy players. All of us come with speed. These are both teams that have people ranging in the 6'4" to 6' range. There's not much shortness besides sophomore guard here for Columbus City sitting at 5'9". Both these teams are tall, lengthy, and got to move. I mean, you could compare this a little bit to AAU ball. You know, it's not that old school screen pick and roll, going to post up underneath. It's going to be a lot of fast pace, and it'll be exciting tonight.
Yeah, this game's going to be up and down the floor. I'll be excited. I want to see some dunks tonight, man. I want to see them guys get aggressive, get at the basketball, get at the rim. Just have fun and play within yourself. This game's going to be a great one.
Yeah, and I definitely think you could see some dunks out of Owen Marshall. Owen Marshall's just a great athlete here. And out of Huntington North, you could see it out of Dalton Husband. It's any night for both these teams. Both teams take center court. It's going to be Dalton Husband and Richmond here to take the tip. And we're off. This is going to be a Huntington North win the tip. It's tipped right off to Titus Schultz, and he passed it off to Campbell. Campbell driving baseline, looking to attack. Can't find anything, brings it back out. Huntington North setting one up. This crowd here loud early here for Huntington North. Blaine Freiberger dumps it off to Dalton Husband. Huntington North sticking with this around the arc offense, moving around 5-out screens and rolls. Schultz with the ball, passes it off to Freiberger. Freiberger finds Campbell with the back cut, and Campbell with the missed layup. And that is going to be poked out of bounds, and that'll stay Huntington North basketball.
Yeah, I really like that pass from Freiberger. We've talked about it all year. He's got a great eye. Blaine Freiberger is able to get the ball down low to his guys for those great layups. Unfortunately, that one doesn't fall with Campbell having a guy in space.
Yeah, but so Blaine Freiberger, great passer with great ball IQ. Huntington North inbounds it over the top to Husband. He finds Schultz. Schultz with some tight defense. He's looking to make a move down below. Pass it off to Campbell. Couldn't find an opportunity. Campbell looking to get in the post. Finds Freiberger. He shot fakes. Dumps it down to Husband. Husband spins for the wide open layup. Great move out of the senior center.
Yeah, phenomenal pass. The defender being very aggressive on both sides. And then Dalton Husband just with the finish. Does such a great job of moving down low.
Yeah, St. John passes this one off to Deckman at the top of the key. Deckman, really some stellar defense here by Husband. Deckman pushes off a little bit, doesn't get it. Pass it off to St. John. Deckman shoots the three just off the rim, rebounded by Schultz. Schultz moving the other way with some pace, trying to set up this Huntington North offense. Schultz with the ball at the top of the key. Gets a screen from Freiberger. He passes that one out to Braden. Braden up to Campbell. Huntington North moving this one out. It's actually poked out there, but Freiberger gets the ball. They find Schultz on the screen, but they can't get a shot off. Campbell posting up on Johns. St. John on Campbell. Campbell making a move in the post. Can't find it, though. He passes that one out to Schultz. Huntington North taking their time, looking to get a good shot. Little mistake there by Schultz as he rolls it on the ground, but Huntington North still in possession. Campbell, senior guard at the top of the key, looking to find a back cut. Some great defense here out of Columbia City. We said this could be a defensive game. Husband pounding it down on the post. He's getting a body, but Husband lays it up, can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Marshall. Marshall moving the other way. Marshall looking to make a move in the post. Passes that one out to Elberly for the three. Just missed. Rebounded by Huntington North.
Yeah, Huntington North doing a great job of forcing these tough looks at the three-point line. Got to keep forcing them to shoot it.
Yeah, Campbell with the ball at the top of the key. Pass it off to Schultz. They find Freiberger. Freiberger with the little floater. Doesn't get it to fall. Almost rebounded by Campbell, but then it is in possession of the Eagles. This is St. John going the other way. John with the ball at the top of the key for the Eagles. Huntington North setting up their defense, doing a great job as they do all season. They get it off to Marshall as Marshall walks. He went from continent to continent there. That'll be Huntington North ball.
Yeah, pack a bag up and get your way going. Didn't quite get a dribble down going into that jump shot. I do like that jump shot. He's very good from the mid-range area, but have to put the ball on the floor if you're going to take that many steps.
Yeah, he's just a dual threat, very tall and athletic basketball player, but he has a shot on him. But this will be Huntington North basketball. Titus Schultz with the ball at the top of the key for Huntington North. He tries to hand it off to Campbell, a little bit of interference, but Campbell has the ball at the top of the key. Campbell crossing over, looking to get Schultz on the wing. He's making a move, kicks it out to Braden. Braden with the ball. Huntington North, little struggling more than usual for penetration in the post, but that's Freiberger going, and Freiberger will draw the foul and will get 2 from the line.
Yeah, almost thought that one wasn't going to get called. Got a little high five up top. Nothing wrong with a little tap at the top there, but great take from Freiberger. Loses his guy a little bit off the pass. Very aggressive from him. I love him being aggressive because he is just such a big body. Compared to this Eagles team, he is easily the biggest guy on the floor out of overall size, and he's got to dominate in the post, got to be able to use his physicality and his body for the advantage of the Huntington North Vikings.
Yeah, despite distraction out of this pit here for Columbia City, Blaine Freiberger drains that first one to extend this lead 3-0 against Columbia City. 4:58 left in the first. These fans are riled up on both sides. Huntington North very vocal so far. And Freiberger misses the second there, but there's going to be a lane violation, so he'll get another opportunity.
Yeah, that's very much a missed opportunity from the Eagles. Misses that free throw. Going to give him another shot. If you're Blaine Freiberger, you got to knock this one in.
Yeah, a little mistake there by Owen Marshall, but Huntington North will have an opportunity to send this to a 2-score game. Blaine Freiberger will take the line here for Huntington North. Shots up and it falls.
Yeah,
Costly mistake.
One point could be the decider of this game. That's a big mistake by the Eagles.
Yeah, Ian St. John has the ball at the top of the key for the Eagles. He passes this one off to Richmond. Richmond has the ball. He dumps it down in the post to Elberly. Elberly for the layup, and he gets it to go for Eagles' first points of the night.
Yeah, that's a great move by the Eagles there. Good pass. Great move by Elberly. Gets up and gets the ball in the rim.
Yeah, Campbell has the ball at the top of the key. He passed it off to Schultz. Huntington North moving this one up and around the arc. That's a steal that's taken away by Elberly, but Campbell regains possession. Finds Freiberger. Freiberger trying to make a move. Looking to get a mid-range. Good backdoor pass to Schultz, and Schultz will draw the foul.
Yeah, this time the younger brother of the Freibergers with a great pass of his own. Good back cut by Schultz. Really had a good layup opportunity, but gets hacked on the way up.
Yeah, and Schultz a great free throw shooter, so we're looking to see some points up on this board for Huntington North. While shooting these free throws, I'm going to give a thank you to Bippa State Bank and Wise Guys Downtown. Schultz drains the first one to extend this to a 3-point lead for Huntington North in the first. 4:20 left. Little communication between Campbell and Schultz as they're shooting free throws. He's got to have that focus there, but great communication out of the two players. Schultz, without a problem, drains the second like we've seen all season. This will be Eagles ball sent the other way. St. John with the ball at the top of the key, guarded by Campbell. St. John dumps this one off to Marshall. Marshall hands it off to Elberly. Little 5-out pass and cut here out of the Eagles. Little backdoor, it's Elberly. He passes this one up to Deckman. Deckman down to Elberly, and that'll be a foul call out of bounds. Landon Richmond had the ball on the baseline, and Huntington North committed a foul on the arm. Little reach in. The Eagles will have this ball underneath the basket. We'll have Trey Deckman take this one out of bounds. Time's ticking. Great tip there by Dalton Husband. That could have been a wide open layup right to Richmond, but tipped by Dalton Husband straight out of bounds. They'll have another opportunity.
Yeah, found Blaine Freiberger kind of falling asleep on the block with a great back cut, but good job using his hands from Dalton Husband.
Yeah, the Eagles struggling to get this one in. Close to 5 seconds as Schultz almost takes it away. It's Elberly, though. They find Deckman in the corner. Deckman to St. John. Deep three as he gets it to fall.
Yeah, he's got something to say about it, too. That's a great shot there from the kid, but already going to get chippy here in this game.
Yeah, both teams chirping here early, but this is Grant Campbell with the ball at the top of the key. Campbell kind of in a pickle. He loses it, but he passes it off to Titus Schultz. Schultz to Husband at the top of the key. Huntington North setting up their offense, taking their time. That's one thing you got to credit Huntington North with is they play at their pace. Campbell, ball at the top of the key. Pass it off to Freiberger. Huntington North running their offense. Nice and steady. Schultz with an open three, and that's good by the junior.
That is such a great shot. Great ball movement from the team of the Vikings. But Titus Schultz, you can't leave that kid wide open from the top of the key.
Yeah, just a great, phenomenal shooter. Huntington North 9, Columbia City 5. 3 minutes left in the first. This is St. John with the ball at the top of the key. Taken away by Husband. Great hustle as Campbell has the ball. And I think they're going to give him a timeout. Nope, jump ball. Almost a timeout there by Grant Campbell. But Huntington North, this will actually stay with the Eagles because Huntington North won the ball off tip.
Yeah, that was great awareness from Campbell and Coach Thompson there, but couldn't quite get the timeout off. Something that the Eagles have been doing defensively against Dalton Husband is they're putting 2 to 3 guys in the paint at all times, denying him the ball, denying entry. They know that he's a threat to score in the low post, and they are not letting him get the ball.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you do it. They also know we live off the back cut. Huntington North always loves to find those sneaky sneakaways back cuts, so they're doing a great job in the post. This is Owen Marshall. Owen Marshall loses it, has to chuck it across to St. John for another deep three, and that is money. Great shot there by the sophomore guard.
Yeah, I think Huntington North's going to have to start guarding up on him, but don't let him get hot. He's going to shoot lights out the rest of this game.
Yeah, Titus Schultz with the ball on the right wing, dumps it down to Freiberger on baseline. He brings it back up top, tipped away. He'll have his dribble again. But he passed it to Campbell. Campbell making a move, big body in the paint. He dumps it in over St. John for the 2-point bucket.
Yeah, Campbell knows that he has a mismatch there with St. John. He's a lot taller, a lot bigger than him, and he's going to take advantage all night.
Yeah, St. John has his weaknesses, but he also has his strength. Huntington North looking to kind of poke at those weaknesses, but here Grant Campbell with a little push-off foul there on St. John.
Yeah, Campbell's got to stay smart here in this game. Foul trouble is going to be something big for the Vikings, really for both teams. Got to keep your guys in the game. But this game is so huge, you want to keep your best 5 to 6 guys on the floor at all times, and that's going to take not fouling out.
Yeah, Freiberger will come out of the game as Brody Bolin, the sophomore, comes in. Brody Bolin standing at 6'4". He's just a very big body here, so it'll be interesting to see how he'll play. A little miscommunication there by Campbell as Landon Richmond gets a back cut for a 2-point play out of bounds.
Yeah, once again, Vikings just falling asleep on those under the basket out of bounds plays.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little change here out of the guard play, but this will be Titus Schultz at the top of the key. Schultz over to Bolin. Huntington North moving around, trying to get an open shot. Bolin driving baseline. Bolin shot fakes, trying to pass it out. Doesn't have an opportunity, gets it to Campbell. Huntington North a little out of their element. They find Dalton Husband wide open, but it is swatted away. Wow, great defensive play. This is Owen Marshall. Owen Marshall has the ball, pass it off to Deckman. Marshall on the right wing. Marshall driving baseline. Huntington North, great help side. They find Deckman on the back cut, and that's the slip that Huntington North lives off of as Columbia City takes a 1-point lead here in the first.
Yeah, Vikings got to wake back up defensively, start being more aggressive. Can't be falling asleep under the basket the way they have been.
Yeah, Braden Freiberger driving baseline. A little miscommunication on a back cut, and they turn it over. This will be Marshall with the ball.
Vikings kind of falling apart here in these last couple minutes.
Yeah, 56 seconds here left in the first. This is Richmond. Richmond on the baseline, spinning, chucks it across to St. John. John shot fake, looking in the post. Doesn't have anything, brings it back out. Marshall with the ball at the top of the key. Marshall squaring up, looking to find something. They pass it into the middle of Richmond. Richmond in the paint. Richmond with the over-the-top layup as they extend this one to 3 here quickly. Huntington North needs to kind of regain their minds here. Campbell with the ball in the backcourt. 30 seconds left. Huntington North looking to take the last shot. Campbell over to Freiberger on the right wing. Back up to Bolin. Titus Schultz, ball at the top of the key. Campbell looking to post up. They find him, but help side's on the backside. They get it to Bolin. Bolin looking to make a move, little fade. Doesn't get it to go. Rebounded by the Eagles.
Yeah, I still think that's a great move from Bolin. Something we haven't seen out of him being that aggressive. Got to make that one fall.
Yeah, St. John with a big mid-range here. Doesn't get it to go. Rebounded by Campbell. And that is the time expires. End of the first.
Yeah, 14-11 to end that quarter. The Vikings were up, kind of fell apart in those last couple minutes. Got very frantic. I think this chippiness between the two teams, both teams talking their own little smack like they always do, but got to keep it under control if you're the Vikings. Play your game, be yourselves. They did a great job of running their offense, but they can't get frantic, can't just play me ball like they tried to at the end there. Keep moving the ball. They're going to find looks.
Yeah, Huntington North just needs to play a little bit more as a team and really focus up on defense. I mean, here early, they were a presence, but a little bit they fell off a little bit. They need to just regain that confidence they had right from the start. Huntington North came out with some firepower, but I think after a water break and some refreshments, Huntington North should be right back at it.
Yeah, Coach Thompson doing a great job of getting his guys in and out. He wants his best guys on the floor, but you have to give them breaks. They cannot play the entire game, the entire 32 minutes of this game, and be 100%. You have to keep your guys fresh, get them in and out of the game, allow them to play their ball. Trust your two guys off the bench.
Yeah, and I think that can be the same way for the other side of the ball. I mean, we have not seen a sub change, but it'll actually be Camden Clausen who will come into the game for the Eagles. And here for Huntington North, it's going to be Aaron Grog checking in for Huntington North. So Titus Schultz will get a little bit of a break here. But still the same 5 plus Clausen now here for the Eagles. Huntington North gets it in. The sophomore guard, Aaron Grog. Grog gets a screen from Husband. He finds Bolin in the corner. Huntington North doing their ball. Bolin passes it off to Freiberger. Campbell, ball at the top of the key. Bolin shot fakes, driving baseline, draws the foul there on the body out of Owen Marshall. So Huntington North will take this one out on the baseline.
Yeah, Marshall just being a little too aggressive on that closeout. On the shot fake from Bolin, it's a great job by him drawing that foul. Got to get guys into foul trouble if you're Huntington North, and same way the other way. I already talked about it. Fouls are going to be huge in this game.
Yeah, it's whoever can reach that bonus first. I mean, free throws could be the deciding factor. Titus Schultz checks back into the game for Huntington North as Campbell will take a little bit of a seat. Husband one-on-one. Husband making a move, spinning, and it is denied. Rebounded by Bolin. Bolin almost cleaned up, but it is rebounded by Richmond.
Yeah, Columbia City doing a great job of getting the blocks up top, down below, and by the rim.
St. John with a big three. It's out of bounds. Rebounded by Freiberger. It was actually thrown back inbounds in the air, but Freiberger kind of intercepted it.
Yeah, great job by the Eagles, but also a great job by Freiberger.
Schultz with a little bit of miss the pass, but it's off the foot of an Eagle, and this will stay on this end of the court.
Yeah, that would have been a great pass had it got through between two Eagles into a wide open Dalton Husband. Couldn't quite get the bounce pass through, though, to stay Vikings ball.
Yeah, Campbell would check back into this lineup for Brody Bolin, so almost back to that starting 5. Huntington North getting this one into Aaron Grog at the top of the key. Aaron Grog guarded by Marshall, one-on-one here for the two opponents. Titus Schultz with the ball now on the right wing. Schultz dumps it down to Husband. Husband brings it back up to the top of the key. Pass it off to the right wing to Grog. Huntington North being really patient here, nothing too forced. They get it to Schultz. Schultz wide open 3, gets it to go. Big Drano out of Titus Schultz.
I'm telling you, you have to guard up on this guy. You got to be flying out to him on those shots. He's not a fast guy. I think you have to be as aggressive as you can. It's going to be a great matchup between him and St. John being their 3-point guys.
Yeah, like we said, St. John chucking one here out from deep. Rebounded here by the Eagles. Marshall underneath the paint, guarded by 3 guys, gets it to Richmond. Richmond stuck underneath, can't get it to fall, rebounded by Freiberger.
Honestly, would have been a phenomenal finish had he got that one to fall, but couldn't quite get it between the rim.
Yeah, Richmond, a very lengthy guy. Wait, on the other end, almost a great layup, rebounded by Husband. Husband gets the and one. It's good for Huntington North. 3-point play on the way. Huntington North regains this lead.
What a play between Dalton Husband and Titus Schultz. Dalton gets the ball entered to him from Schultz. Schultz, back cut, right back to him. Couldn't get the basket to fall. Dalton Husband going to be aggressive, get his rebound, and put it up with the and one. It was a great shot fake from Husband. He's going to the line. I'm telling you, these guys are going to be aggressive both ways, and this is going to be a great classic game, man.
Yeah, way to put that right on the money as Husband drains that free throw. Both these teams getting back at each other, back and forth. Huntington North 17, Columbia City 14. 6:06 left before the half. This will be Elberly. Elberly passes it out to Clausen. Almost taken away, but this is Deckman. Deckman gets it to Clausen. The Columbia City kind of struggling to get it underneath as they're missing their guard, St. John. But Huntington North doing a great job. Richmond trying to make a move. Has to chuck it out to Marshall. Marshall one-on-one. Gets it down to Richmond. Almost taken away by Husband. That's a great defensive play.
Yeah, great defense from the Vikings. They forced the Eagles to keep the ball towards the corner on one side of the court, not allowing paint penetration. It's going to take a lot to get into the paint against these Vikings when they're this route up.
Yeah, Huntington North getting a chip on their shoulder here early in this game, fighting for every single possession. They get it into Elberly. Columbia City with the ball in possession. They pass it off to Deckman. Deckman, passes this one off to Elberly again. Elberly in the corner. guarded by Aaron Grogg. Aaron Grogg forcing some pressure, but Elberly has it underneath, and that's almost stolen away, and that'll stay on this end. That almost should have been Huntington North basketball. It could have gone either way.
Very tough call. The ref was right there, but either way, that's a tough call no matter where you're at. He's going to give it back to the Eagles. Hard to disagree, hard to agree.
Yeah, Trey Deckman has this ball out of bounds. He's struggling to get it in, almost 5 seconds, but he gets it in at Elberly in the corner. I'm sorry, Richmond. Richmond back up to Deckman. Shot fake, looking to step it back. They find Clausen in the corner. And that is going to be a foul, I believe, on Husband underneath. Not quite sure. 11. He's pointing to 11. So that's going to be Aaron Grogg underneath the basket.
Yeah, non-ball contact foul. Just being very aggressive in the post are the Eagles. They really want to get the ball down low.
Yeah, they're letting them play physical for sure, but this will be Marshall at the top of the key. Marshall guarded by Campbell. I know Huntington North has been playing Owen Marshall all their lives. Campbell looking to guard up on Owen. Marshall with a little fadeaway. Almost a great shot. Not quite, though. Rebounded by Freiberg.
Yeah, he loves that mid-range. Couldn't get it to fall with Campbell right in his face.
Yeah, Campbell making moves, looking to get it down in the paint. Campbell passed it up to Freiberger, top of the key. Almost, it's taken away there by Deckman. Deckman moving the other way. Freiberger not letting it happen. Clausen, it's almost blocked by Husband, and that should not have been a foul, but they're going to catch him on the arm for one.
Yeah, I guess they did get a lot of body on that, but I thought both guys were pretty straight up. It was a great block by Husband. He's going to get the foul. Huntington North does not like that foul call.
Yeah, Huntington North not happy with these referees here early in this game. Even though fouls are 2-2, Huntington North still with a 3-point lead as Clausen takes his first. He bricks it off the backboard, and our pit's going crazy saying ball don't lie right now.
Yeah, that's about what you do when something like that happens, when it's controversial and it goes against you. That's what's going to happen. You have to knock that down if you're Clausen. But at the end of the day, he's got a second one.
Yeah, Clausen looking to make the second. He misses that one, rebounded by Freiberger. Great rebound and great possession change. All that momentum from that foul is moved right into the Vikings' hand.
Yeah, if we look at it this way, just on free throws alone between the two teams, that's 3 free throw mistakes from the Eagles.
Yeah, this is Schultz on the kind of baseline. He passes it back up. Campbell at the ball at the top of the key. Campbell passes this one off to Schultz. Schultz looking for the great pass. The dime doesn't get it to fall, though. Rebounded by Deckman. Deckman looking to chuck this one up. He chucks a full court pass there. They get it down to Richmond. Richmond in the paint. Blocked by Freiberger. Huntington North basketball.
Yeah, Braden Freiberger showing off the athleticism there, getting it off the backboard. What a great block from the kid.
Yeah, Campbell has the ball on the right wing for Huntington North. I will say this has been a very fast-paced game. Both these teams are playing almost out of their element with this type of speed. Schultz, little mid-range. It's blocked. Rebounded by Freiberger. Freiberger almost has it taken away, but he gets it over to Braden. Brother to brother. He gets it to go. Big-time three. It's from that brother-to-brother connection.
Yeah, that connection is undeniable. What a great pass. Great aggressiveness from Blaine Freiberger to get the rebound, finding his brother. No doubt that ball was going to go in.
Yeah, this will be Marshall with the ball at the top of the key. He hands it off to Clausen, and that's going to be a timeout out of Columbia City. They are rattled.
Yeah, not knowing what to do with the ball, not setting up the offense very well. The coach was trying to say one thing. The team wanted to do something other. Nothing going on there. That was what they wanted. Didn't take a timeout. This is the first time out of the game. You know, I honestly thought Huntington North could have taken one at the end of the first quarter. But at the end of the day, Coach Thompson trusting in his guys that they're going to figure it out. They knew the quarter was about to end. He got to talk to his guys without having to use the timeout. It's a great job by Coach. But the Eagles, thinking they need to talk one over, being down 6 now.
Yeah, and that's something Coach has touched on all season long. His overwhelming trust for all his players. No matter if they have 4 fouls and it's early in the third, he's going to leave them in. He trusts his players there out on the court, and like we said, it has worked. Huntington North rallied. They're a team that changes throughout the game. They're very versatile on all levels of the basketball court, and they just have to find your little mistakes, and they can turn that into their advantages. Huntington North here with a 6-point lead right before halftime, 3:30. Huntington North 20, Columbia City 14.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of respect from Coach Thompson towards his players. He continues to talk about it, but he's got a lot of respect for me just because of that. Like, of all things that a coach can do is trust in his guys, know who he has on the floor, know what he's going to get out of them, and he absolutely does that, and that he's got to have a lot of respect from these Vikings fans just because of that.
Yeah, Columbia City Trey Deckman will take the ball out by the scorer's table here. They have 3 minutes, 30 seconds to claw back from a 6-point deficit before halftime. Ian St. John back in the game for Columbia City. He's had a pair of deep threes here early for this Columbia City team. Huntington North coming out, I believe, with some sort of zone. Looks like a 2-3. Owen Marshall gets it down to Richmond. Richmond underneath. He gets it out to St. John for the 3. He has been automatic, but he misses that one long. Huntington North rebounds that basketball. They'll have a chance to kill some clock and put more points on the board.
Yeah, St. John went from 2 for 2 from deep and now being 2 for 5. Unfortunately, he's going to have to get back into the scoring column.
Wide open layup for Huntington North. Great back cut there by Braden Freiberger. He found a little pocket where no one was standing. Great ball IQ from Titus Schultz to get him that pass.
Yeah, another great pass. This Vikings team just knows how to pass the basketball.
Yeah, this is St. John with the ball at the top of the key. Huntington North 8-point lead. John pass it off to Richmond. Richmond lays in the 2 through contact. Great athletic layup there.
Yeah,
this will be Huntington North going the other way.
That's a tough shot from the HU commit. He really got up. Blaine Freiberger being right there, but allowed that shot to go in.
Great coast-to-coast move by Campbell. We can't even get our speaking off. Campbell drove down the left side of the lane, went up and underneath the basket for a great 2-point bucket. 2:20 left. Great steal here by Braden Freiberger. He'll have a chance to throw it down. That's a goaltending there, and it will be 2 points for Huntington North. I can't believe he even touched that. That ball was at the top of the backboard, and he swatted it down.
Yeah, that's unbelievable athleticism from Owen Marshall. I love the aggression from him. He is playing a great aggressive game already. Not quite getting the offensive stuff that he wants, but Braden Freiberger with a great steal, and that's going to count for 2 points for him.
Yeah, Huntington North 10-point lead here before halftime against the 3A team, third ranked in the state. This is Owen Marshall, has the ball at the top of the key, gets it off to Deckman. Deckman down to Elberly. Elberly passed it off to Richmond. They're moving this ball up around the key. Huntington North, stellar defense, really with the ball in their court and a lot of momentum. This is Richmond calling here for Marshall. Richmond driving, looking to make a move. Doesn't have anything. He's in a pickle. Almost stolen by Schultz. And that should be Huntington North basketball. They're going to say off of Titus as he's talking to that ref, but he needs to quiet down so we don't make any mistakes before halftime.
Yeah, Titus actually had a lot of respect with that ref. Got a little high five there. Knew that was probably not his ball, but he wanted to argue it. He wants that. He has that passion for his team. He wants that basketball back.
Yeah, St. John with the ball, passed it off to Marshall. Marshall driving baseline. Marshall making a move. That is blocked by Husband, and that's going to stay on this end. Great block there, but it looked like Owen Marshall touched that one right before it out of bounds, but it'll stay on this end. Great defensive plays by Huntington North here early in this basketball game.
Yeah, the two big guys guarding out and around the three-point line, doing a great job of just staying on their guys, these long, lengthy guys that the Eagles have.
Yeah, Deckman passes it up to St. John. John with the ball at the top of the key. John passes this one off to Elberly. Elberly looking in the paint. Elberly with the move, and that won't go for him as well. Great defense. He gets his own rebound and gets the lucky bucket. That bounced around, but great effort play out of the senior guard.
Yeah, a crazy little two-point shot there. Never even left the ground. Just kind of threw it up, got it to fall, but at the end of the day, 2 points, 2 points.
59 seconds here before halftime. Huntington North with an 8-point lead. Schultz wide open on the three. Schultz hot. He can't get it to go. Great rebound by Husband, and he'll get the foul call. 2 points there. I'm sorry, 2 shots there from the free throw line for Huntington North.
Yeah, Titus Schultz with a great open look, one that he made earlier on that right side wing. Couldn't get it to fall, but Dalton Husband, man, he's been so aggressive. He's done a great job of getting those offensive boards. Huntington North really just flying all over the floor today. The Eagles as well. This has been a very up and down the court basketball game. We talked about it before the game. It's going to be that way. But the Vikings prevailing so far in this first half.
Yeah, Husband misses his first. Schultz checks back into the game. While he's lining up for a second, I want to give a big thank you to our sponsors of Hartberg, Roth, Garrett Law, and Novate Corporation. Husband will line up for his second shot to extend this lead to 9 points for Huntington North. Husband doesn't get it to fall. That is rebounded by Marshall. Marshall guarded by Campbell. Campbell coming out hot, full court press. Campbell forcing to look for mistakes. St. John almost with a mistake as he passed it off to Clausen. Clausen kind of in a pickle. St. John on the side. Very physical basketball out of these players. St. John so quick as he just chucks it out of bounds. Huntington North fans are on their feet here for this Huntington North. It's going to be their ball. 30 seconds left.
Yeah, such a great defensive play. The Vikings are able to be aggressive, but staying within themselves. Something I've preached all year. They have to be aggressive. They have to be who they are as a team, but they have to stay mentally tough and be smart with what they do.
Yeah, Campbell walks his ball up the court with no pressure, which is a little surprising. He passed it off to Freiberger, who hands it off to his brother. This is Braden. He passed it off to Campbell. 13 seconds left. Trying to get the ball inside of our shooter. Trying to get it to Schultz. They pass it to him. 8 seconds. Schultz lining up. Schultz behind the back, looking to get in the paint penetration. Gets the shot off. Doesn't go. Almost rebounded by Husband. Husband fade away off the side of the backboard right before halftime.
Yeah, trying to get the ball to Schultz at the top of the key like they always do at the end of halves, end of quarters. Couldn't quite get that shot to fall. Not the greatest shot in the world, kind of forced. But they allow him to have those opportunities, those one-on-one opportunities, because they know that their guys can get rebounds. Dalton Husband getting the rebound. Had to take a fadeaway shot with just a second left. Couldn't get it to fall. But overall, it's still a great play.
And what a half of basketball here for Huntington North. They're striking early. Huntington North 26 to Columbia City 18. So Huntington North done a great job on all levels. They did have a little bit of struggle right before the end of the first quarter, but they found it real quickly and clawed right back at the Eagles.
Yeah, this game has been back and forth, man. We started off. Huntington North came out hot. One of the things that they've struggled to do all freaking year is come out hot, be aggressive, and doing a great job. But then balled off a little bit. They allowed themselves to get rattled. Columbia City really took advantage of that, came back with, 4 or 5 point lead.
Yeah.
And now Huntington North taking an 8-point lead into halftime. A great second quarter from the team. Coach Thompson, I wonder what he said at that break after the first quarter. He had to say something that was just so breaking for these guys that were able to turn them back around and put them back into the scoring and positive category.
Yeah, and Huntington North, they always play their best basketball when they have a chip on their shoulder. They're just doing a great job physically on all levels of the basketball. And so with that chip, I think we lost it a little bit right at the end, and I think Coach said, what are we doing? I mean, you got to fight for this team. We want to win this game. And that flipped a switch in them, and they immediately came right back. And Huntington North just playing with that chip on their shoulder. Very aggressive basketball here out of Huntington North.
Yeah, something that's a little out of the ordinary as we look at the stat sheet. Huntington North with just 2 steals in the first half. Not the numbers that they usually see, but they've done a great job at forcing bad shots. They've gotten the ball to be shot by the Eagles that just has not fallen. Just 2 for 8 from the three-point line from the Eagles. 8 for 19 overall from the field. Not a great shooting night so far. I talked about it before the game. They have to be able to make threes. Started off hot with St. John. He went 2 for 2 from deep, fell off back down to 2 for 8 for the team. But then Huntington North with 3 for 4 on the 3 balls, not shooting them a lot, but getting them to fall when it counts. They're also getting to the free throw line. 7 free throws on 5 of 7 on free throws so far in the first half, doing a great job. And also the Eagles just 2 free throws in the game. They got to get back to the free throw line. Not a lot of fouls have happened so far in this half. Got to see what they have to do the second half.
Yeah, like you said, 2 from 8 from the three-point line here for the Eagles. It just doesn't get it done for you. Huntington North shooting 75% from the three-point line. That's outstanding here from Huntington North. And you just got to look, I mean, Schultz is 2 for 3. If you can have a player make 2 out of 3 shots from beyond the arc, that is just impressive, and that's going to matter all night long. And here on the other end, it's been a night of Owen Marshall. I mean, he has 0 points here in the first half. I mean, that is their go-to player. Owen Marshall had 15 points against us last season, and I believe he's averaging north of 10 for sure, maybe even in the north of 15. So Huntington North just really putting the pressure on Owen Marshall. Owen Marshall is sitting around points per game, 12.8 points per game. So I'm sorry, that's still great. I mean, he doesn't have half of what his percentage should be. So Huntington North doing a great job. Well, we're going to take a quick minute to listen to Commissioner's Corner. Huntington North with a 26-18 lead here at halftime.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Welcome into our weekly conversation with the commissioner. It's the Commissioner's Corner with Paul Neidig. I'm Brendan King. Paul, busy time of year, including this weekend with the girls wrestling state finals coming up at the Coliseum over at the fairgrounds, January 16th. And Paul, what can you say about girls wrestling and how that sport continues to emerge and grow?
Well, first of all, the growth is we knew once we developed a platform within our system for new sports to come on board and grow and give student athletes additional opportunities. that girls wrestling would quickly rise to the front. And when we did this several years ago, it took just 2 short years for girls wrestling to go from emerging, they weren't even in our system, to a fully recognized state championship sport. And we just have continued to see growth in girls sports and our girls wrestling. And we're excited about that. And I think we're right around the corner. And maybe this coming Friday, we'll see another girl that wins the state championship that will move on to great things on the Olympic level, like other girls in the state of Indiana have done. And so we're really excited about that platform, that opportunity for these girls to show what they love, and that's wrestling.
You and I have talked a lot about emerging sports, whether that's, girls flag football, girls lacrosse, wrestling, as you said, with that quick path. The process of emerging sports and building them and growing them for your team, what can you say about the significance of that and the process of it to get to this point, like you said?
Well, I think it's important. We're all about opportunity for students. And, we want to provide as many opportunities as we can. And that we had our rules, the way they were originally written, probably was not going to be an opportunity for another sport to come on. And so 4 years ago now, we took on that task to look at those rules and we made some adjustments, and we've seen now additional opportunities. So that 160,000 student athletes that we serve on an annual basis is going to grow because of additional opportunities. And that's something that we're very excited about.
Girls basketball pairing show coming up in about a week and a half. Hard to believe. And then the boys will follow shortly after for basketball. So, hey, it's a great time of year. It's a busy time of year for you guys. Swimming and diving is going to be coming up in less than a month. I feel like February is a big underrated month for you guys that's packed with just tons of power. Yeah,
February just it really. Obviously, this coming Friday with girls wrestling kicks off our tournament season for the winter, but February, certainly every weekend, we've got something going on. And, it's an opportunity to follow your school. You can go to ihsaa.org and get all of our tournament information and see where your team is playing and get out and watch those student athletes, because it's still pure. It's still homegrown. It's still kids that are going to go back and contribute to their communities, participating in high school sports. And I would just encourage people to get out there and watch these students. They've been practicing their skill all fall and all winter, and now it's time for them to put it on the line for a potential berth in the state championship venue.
Last thing, we were talking last week about your time at the Rose Bowl and getting to watch Indiana and meeting with your colleagues across the country. Well, since that point, Indiana has punched their ticket in the national championship game, Indiana football. And, I know that you guys partner with the Colts and you guys partner with all kinds of professional organizations around the state. But, when, Indiana University is in the national championship for football, and I know a lot of folks down in Bloomington, what does that mean for you as a guy that grew up in this state as well?
Well, it's certainly the spotlight on what we know is a wonderful state. Our collegiates, all of our colleges, we're rich in colleges here in the state of Indiana. And, but this time we stepped that aside and we're going to root for one. And, it's these Hoosiers have really caught Indiana by storm and, really a national audience. And we're excited about that. And I know Scott Dolson and Coach Cinetti has worked hard to bring Indiana football and Indiana University to the forefront. And I'm excited for both of those individuals and again, the student athletes that get to participate at Indiana University. And I'm going to be tuning in next Monday night, rooting on those Hoosiers.
Paul Neidig, he's the commissioner of the IHSAA. It's the Commissioner's Corner. Paul, always appreciate the time. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Brendan. Hey, thank you for doing what you do for the student athletes in this great state.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Welcome back, Viking listeners. I'm Ben Roth here with James Linker, and tonight, Huntington North Vikings are taking on the Columbia City Eagles in a great rivalry NE8 matchup. Coming out of halftime, Huntington North is leading 26 to Columbia City's 18.
Yeah, before the game, I said, watch out for Braden Freiberger. Watch out for Grant Campbell. Both of those guys have had decent nights. Grant Campbell shooting 66% from the field, and Braden Freiberger 3 for 3 with a huge wide open three-pointer on that left side wing. Just a great showing from the two of them. Titus Schultz, 8 points. Braden Freiberger, 7. Dalton Husband, 5. Then we look at the Eagles. You got Ian St. John with 6 with those 2 huge, deep three-pointers that he made early. And then Landon Richmond with 8. Just 4 total guys in the scoring column for the Eagles. I wonder if they need to spread the ball out a little bit, let some guys get to work. They've got to be able to make their shots. Only shooting 8 of 19 overall, which isn't bad. The Vikings just shooting 9 of 22. Both teams finding the ball back on rebounds with 26 total rebounds in the game, shared at 13 and 13, but just 6 total turnovers between the two. Both teams playing great basketball overall, but at the end of the day, it's who's going to make their shots.
Yeah, and I think you got to give Huntington North just some amazing credit here. This Eagles team, ranked third in a 3A. They're just holding them to 18 points as a team that outstanding who's sitting at 10-1 is just unbelievable. And then on the flip side, they're known for their defense. They're 18th in defensive average and 10th in margin average. So they're just known for holding teams low. Huntington North, 26 points at a halftime. Unbelievable here out of the Vikings. Coach Thompson and this Viking 5 is just phenomenal.
Yeah, honestly, the story of the game is the free throw line. The Vikings 5 of 7 from the free throw line. The Eagles just 0 for 2, not getting to the line the way that you think that they should. It already looks like the Vikings coming out in a 2-3 zone once again.
Yeah, and that's just, we're not letting anything underneath the baskets. Our bigs are being so physical, but this will be Columbia City ball at halftime. This is St. John, top of the key, guarded by Campbell. Huntington North coming out with some great defense. And I think it was a fake. They've gone right to man here pretty quickly. But this is Richmond. Richmond at the top of the key. Pass it off to Deckman. Deckman back to Richmond. He's driving. Kicks it out. Stolen away by the Vikings. And I believe that's going to be off the foot of Freiberger. That's going to stay on the end for Columbia City. So a very lucky break there right at the end.
Yeah, Braden Freiberger already trying to get back into that steal column. We've talked about he's averaging 2.5 on the season. Really aggressive on the passing lanes and got into that one there. Almost a steal, but couldn't quite get the ball.
Yeah, Owen Marshall, top of the key, pass it off to St. John's. He's driving. Doesn't really have much of an opportunity. Passes back out to Marshall. Marshall baseline. He chucks it across down to Elberly. Elberly back to Marshall. Marshall takes a three. Doesn't get it to fall. Great hustle play there as it is picked off by Schultz like a football, but Schultz going the other way. Huntington North stops him here early with an 8-point lead coming out of halftime.
I think we call that a head tap there in football from Titus Schultz.
Yeah, this is Blaine Freiberger looking for Husband. Husband in the paint, and Husband lays in the 2. Huntington North stretching this one out to 10 here pretty quickly.
Yeah, I talked about it before. Dalton Husband getting denied in the post. Great over-the-top pass in an awkward layup, but gets it to fall like it was one-on-one in a layup lane.
Yeah, St. John running around with his quick speed. He dumps it down to Richmond. Richmond finds Elberly in the corner, and you can't leave a guy that wide open. Elberly, a guard. You just can't leave that 3 open. He drains it, shortens this one to 7.
Yeah, Columbia City coming out hot from behind the arc already. Here in the second half, they did it early in the first. Now they're going to do it in the second.
Yeah, Schultz with the ball on the left wing. He finds Freiberger on the high post. Freiberger out to Husband. Huntington North keeping their stable, playing their type of basketball. Schultz looking to find Campbell in the paint. Can't get it to him as he sails it out of bounds. I think he was looking for the cross-court pass, but it was just too high.
Yeah, not a bad decision. It's a tough pass to make from left wing all the way to the right corner. Would have been a great shot had Freiberger wanted it, but just ended up being a bad pass.
Yeah, Owen Marshall has this ball at the top of the key. He's spinning down in the paint, dumps it down to Richmond. Richmond is absolutely swatted by Freiberger, but they're going to get the foul. That just can't be a foul. I mean, that was all ball. I know it was a violent block, but you can't call it.
I wonder if he might have caught him on the arm, something we couldn't quite see. But Braden Freiberger, man, that was an athletic block. Unfortunately, he's going to result in a foul. 2 free throws, the third and fourth free throw of the game for the Eagles.
Yeah, and I believe Richmond took the 2 earlier, and he misses that one as well. 0-3 from the line. I'm sorry, Clausen took the ones earlier, but still not doing too hot here from the free throw line here for Columbia City, knock on wood, but Huntington North just getting after it.
Yeah, I wonder if this crowd, the amount of decibels they have created tonight. There's the 4th missed free throw.
0 for 4 here out of Columbia City. Not doing well from beyond the arc. I think that could be a deciding factor in this basketball game. Great steal there by Elberly, jumping that screen. He's going the other way. He loses it, passes it out to St. John. St. John crosses up Blaine Freiberger, but kind of all over the place. Deckman with a 3, doesn't get it to go. Freiberger, after a bad miss, he gets the rebound and kind of fixes himself. Schultz with the ball. Schultz finds Husband. Husband should have handed it off to Campbell, but he takes it back out as Huntington North will set up this play. 5:30 left in the third. Campbell with the ball at the top of the key, guarded by St. John. A little bit of life here out of Columbia City. They're refreshed out of halftime. Schultz gets it down to Campbell. Campbell making a move. It is poked away, and that is picked up, stolen by Freiberger as he's trying to go up, and they're going to call that a jump ball. Maybe could have been on the arm, but they're going to call that a jump ball, and we'll stay with Huntington North.
Yeah, both teams having the ball between the couple seconds. Great job by Freiberger to get that ball back. Blaine is very aggressive, does a great job at running the floor, but couldn't quite get that one away from the arms of the Eagles player.
But yeah, Vikes get it in effortlessly as this is Brody Bolin at the top of the key. Brody Bolin checked into the game for Grant Campbell. It is Blaine Freiberger, top of the key, making moves, weaving back and forth, pass it off to Titus Schultz. Schultz has the ball. Huntington North moving this one around. Get it to Husband in the high post. He's making move in the paint. Powers through. Gets the layup. Great back touch spin move there by Husband.
Yeah, he is so good with his back to the basket. Gets a great spin. Almost blocked by Owen Marshall. Almost another great block by him. But Dalton Husband getting it to fall.
Yeah, St. John, a little shot fakes. One step. He misses it again. It's off the hands of Bolin. Bolin had an effortless rebound. Just couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, Bolin with a great box out. But he was a little more worried about the box out than he was the basketball. Ends up just kind of getting into his hands a little quicker than I think he thought. Tips it out of bounds. It's going to stay Eagles ball.
Yeah, Eagles having a second chance opportunity here. They're looking to get in St. John's as there's a little bit of fight. Not fight, but some action here between Titus Schultz and St. John. St. John trying to get it in. They can't find him. Great defense here by Schultz. They finally get this one to Richmond. Richmond with the ball in the right wing, guarded by Freiberger. They hand it off to Marshall. Marshall baseline. Marshall weaving. Little floater. Wow. What a play by Owen Marshall.
Yeah, he moves so great. Gets great little tiny 5-foot jump shots. And he's going to make you pay when you leave him that wide open.
Yeah, this is Bolin with the ball in the right wing. He gets it up to Freiberger at the top of the key. Huntington North doing their offense. Hands it off to Campbell. Campbell stepping out. Gets it down to Husband. Husband looking to make a move. Husband finds Campbell. Campbell wide open. Doesn't get it to go. Rebounded by Richmond. Richmond going the other way. And there's a foul call. I think it's going to be on the ground on Freiberger. A little bit of the body there.
Yeah, Blaine Freiberger, he ran the floor. Really wasn't looking for anything but a foul or a steal. He tried to poke the ball out. Got a little too aggressive with his body. A little hip check. Nothing we don't ever see out of Blaine Freiberger. He'll do that a lot. But he's kind of kept himself out of foul trouble with just one so far in the game. That's his first foul. Doing a great job for himself.
Yeah, Eagles have an opportunity to cut this one to 5. And that should have been a 5-second call there, but they're going to give him an opportunity, and they get it in. Richmond driving. Richmond misses the ball, and it is all over the place. Rebounded by Huntington North. Freiberger moving the other way with some pace. Weaving between traffic. Gets the foul call, and he'll have 2 from the free throw line.
Yeah, honestly, Richmond on that take to the basket got a little shove in there. No foul call from the refs. There's been a couple of those kind of both ways. When you're handling the ball, they just get that little elbow that haven't been getting called. But Braden Freiberger, great job going coast to coast, being aggressive, knowing that when there's a lot of bodies down there and he can jump the way that he does with his length, he's going to get to the free throw line when he's aggressive like that.
Yeah, and you know what? I love the physicality. I'm fine with them not calling that. It just adds to the atmosphere. I mean, the atmosphere in this gym right now, it is packed. Both these programs having great showouts by their community. But Freiberger missed the first as he lines up for the second, and he gets that one to go. Huntington North 31, Columbia City 23. 3:44 left before the end of the third quarter. This will be Marshall with the ball on the left wing. He's almost telling people to clear out. Yep, he's making a move. He's doing his thing, and it is blocked by Huntington North. This is Titus Schultz going the other way. He passed it up to Campbell. Campbell, the senior guard, has the ball on the right wing, looking to dump it down. Doesn't have an opportunity. Almost in a pickle there. Gets it to Husband. Husband driving. Husband looking to make a move. Husband arms on his body, draws the foul and the 2-point shots. You'll have a chance at free throws.
Yeah, really an unfortunate foul for the Eagles. Got his arm caught up with Husband. Husband just being a smart basketball player. Gets hold of the ball with his fingertips and just goes up. Goes up aggressively, goes up hard like he always does. He made a great move to get into the position he was in, and now he's at the free throw line for 2 shots.
You know, something I'm a little surprised of is we're not hearing any vocality out of this Columbia City coaching staff. I mean, I've not seen a coach stand up, so they're pretty quiet. They're pretty settled here in this gym. And so Husband drains the first one to extend that lead to 9 as he has a chance to make it 10.
Yeah, I think the Eagles coaching staff, just like the Huntington North coaching staff, has a lot of trust in their players. Both teams having great seasons so far, just going to allow their players to play.
Yeah, Husband misses that one short as Richmond has some pace. A little bit of opportunity going the other way. He gets it to Elberly. Elberly back to Richmond. Richmond up to Deckman. Columbia City moving this one quickly around the arc. They find Elberly in the corner. He has a three, just bricks it, rebounded by Husband. Husband passed it off to Schultz. Schultz has an opportunity. He's driving. He's moving all the way to the lane. Gets it to go. Great layup. Great jelly roll right into the bucket, and that's going to be a timeout.
What a take. What a play. Great defense from the Vikings. Great way to push up the ball on the floor. They're now up by 11 points at this timeout. Dalton Husband gets the rebound, hands it off to Schultz. Schultz is going to be aggressive. He's done a great job at knowing when to be aggressive and knowing when to slow up the pace and run the offense. And right there was a time to be aggressive because they had numbers, but he said, no, I'm taking it myself with a little one-on-one jelly. Man, he took that shot. I didn't think there was any chance that thing was going in. A little spin on it, drops it right in the bucket.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. It was almost, you could describe it like NASCAR. I mean, he was moving in between people, right around in the lane for an easy layup. And, this coaching staff is rattled here by Columbia City. This is not how they want this game to go. They have only been trailing in the second half one time this season, and that is to, I believe, the number one team in the 1A, right? Or something like that. They've trailed one time all season long. So for Huntington North, just to control this pace of the game, they're at a loss of words. I mean, they're just trying to find anything right now, but Huntington North answers everything that they throw at them. Huntington North, a very versatile team, really gets it out.
Yeah, both teams leaving their starters in the game as much as they can. We talked about it before. To win these games, your best players have to be on the floor. It's got to be 5, 6, maybe get to 7 players throughout the game. But, man, I wonder how tired this Eagles team is going to get. They've only subbed a few guys. A lot of their players staying on the court at all times. The Vikings doing a lot of quick rotations, getting quick breaks, but getting back out on the floor. It'll be interesting to see down the stretch how that's going to affect both teams.
Yeah, this Eagles team has only gone one deep into this court. Great steal here by Huntington North going the other way. Campbell moving. Campbell going in for the leg. Campbell gets it down. Out of the timeout, Huntington North capitalizes right away. Marshall with a little bit of space. He is immediately denied, and that is going to be a foul on Huntington North. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I didn't see much there. But Marshall, on the first way down the court, got very aggressive. Didn't get the foul call that he wanted. Threw up a bad shot. Ends up getting stolen away into 2 points from Campbell. But now he's being aggressive again. I think he's getting a little bit flustered. Knows he hasn't scored the way that he usually does. And he just wants to put the ball on the rim.
And we see that all the time. Huntington North does a great job shutting people down. Marshall with the three. Doesn't get it to go. What a rebound. I mean, that was beautiful out of Deckman as he just floats through the air and puts it right back in for the 2-point play. Huntington North up 11. Full court press here by St. John. And he almost takes it away. Campbell almost could be a foul, but Campbell, great job using his size to his advantage. Freiberger with the ball at the top of the key. A little bit of aggressive here. They get it to Campbell. Campbell a little space. Campbell looking to get, he's a very penetrating guard, so he's looking to get down in there, but he doesn't get it to go. Passes it out to Freiberger. Freiberger hands it off to his brother Braden. Braden with the ball at the top of the key. Stolen away here by Richmond. Richmond moving the other way. And Richmond lays down the two. I believe, is that a foul call before the shot?
Yes, that'll be on the ground. Freiberger got bumped into him a little bit early. Honestly, that's going to end up being the right play for Freiberger. However, that is his third foul of the game. He's going to take a seat for the Vikings.
What I would have loved to see is pulling the chair. That's a terminology where that guy's bumping you, you just move out of the way when he goes to bump and he falls over. But again, third foul out of Braden Freiberger. We'll see this go a little deeper as Brody Bolin checks into the game. Almost a steal there by Blaine on Marshall, but Marshall has the ball in the corner. He shoots again. He is 0 for 4 from the three-point line. Huntington North with a rebound. And they're in a home gym. That is very rare to see.
Yeah, tough shooting night from Marshall. Seems a little bit rattled. I'd like to see him get a little more shots to get through the rim for his own sake. But the Vikings doing a great job of forcing the bad ones.
Yeah, Husband with the ball in the paint, and that's going to be a foul on the ground, a little bit on the wrist there, I believe. That was St. John. We'll see who they call it on here, but that'll be a foul, and Huntington North has the ball underneath the basket.
Yeah, that foul's going to be on Marshall, actually. He's guarding Husband. Husband did a great job of coming to the ball, grabbing that ball and being aggressive. Marshall checks out of the game now after that foul. That is huge for the Vikings. That's a great penetrating guard who does a great job of handling the basketball. Interesting to see the way the Eagles will run their offense now.
Well, that's just your basketball general. I mean, that's the heart of this team. costly turnover by Schultz as this ball's going the other way with Clausen. Clausen in a pickle, passes it up to St. John. John hands it off to Richmond. Richmond ball at the top key. Finds St. John for a three. He doesn't get it to fall. Rebounded by Freiberger. A lot of missed opportunities from beyond the arc. We said it early here, folks, that beyond the arc will matter here tonight. This is Campbell with the ball on the right wing. Campbell sizing up his defender. Campbell gets it off to Schultz. Schultz, a little one from the free throw line, in and out. Rebounded by Husband, though. Great effort. Husband goes up, doesn't get the foul, though. Wow, this is Richmond moving the other. Great steal by Freiberger, but they're going to call a foul out of bounds.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to get called a foul 100 times out of 100. When you go cross body like that, it was a great steal. At the end of the day, it was a great steal. But going across your body from right to left is going to cause a foul, especially when you bump him with the body. Dalton Husband, though, with a great rebound, missed opportunity on that. Didn't quite get it to fall on the putback. And then the shot from Titus Schultz before that, I love that shot out of him. That free throw line jumper, when he can rise above everybody, is always going to be a great shot for that kid.
Doesn't get it to go, though, and that'll be foul shots on the other end because we're in the bonus here, as that is Richmond drains the first one. Huntington North with a 10-point lead. Huntington North 36, Columbia City 26. 41.7 here in the third quarter. Richmond lines up. He doesn't get the second one, so 1 for 6, or is it 1 for 8? Either way, still not great free throw shooting here out of Columbia City. This is Campbell. Campbell looking to get it to Schultz. Campbell got to get rid of it. He gets it off to Husband. Husband a little bump there by Deckman, but Husband has the ball at the top of the key. Campbell has the ball on the right wing, sizing up St. John. He gets it down to Husband. Husband looking to make a move, almost taken away there, as that's going to be a jump ball.
Yeah, I can't quite tell on that one what really happened, but a jump ball ended up getting called. Deckman did a great job of poking that ball out from Husband. Got very aggressive. Usually you'll see a foul call from that. Had a little bit of a push in there, but ultimately it's going to be a jump ball going the Eagles' way.
Yeah, 10 seconds left here. Columbia City taking this last shot. Schultz on Elberly. Elberly passes this one off to Richmond. Richmond kicks it out. Clausen for three. Wow. What a shot there by the kid as he cuts it to 7 points.
Yeah, that's a great shot from him. He is a shooter coming off the bench. A lefty shot is always going to be a beautiful one. Comes in to the corner, gets a great shot, open look, and it's going to be knocked down. When you leave guys that wide open, the percentage goes so far up. It's hard to come back from that. But the Vikings go into with a 7-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I know that's a little bit less than what it was. I mean, Huntington North with an 8-point lead at halftime, so 1-point deficit here in the third quarter. But you still got to tip your cap. I mean, you're winning half the quarter, or I guess you're only winning 1 quarter so far, but you dominated that quarter. Huntington North did a great job here in the second, outscoring 15-4. But Huntington North still in the driver's seat going into this fourth quarter late in this basketball game. It's just been a great run here for the Vikings. They've just done a great job on all levels.
Yeah, the scoreboard says 7-point lead by Huntington, but ultimately the momentum is on the Eagles' side. At the end of the quarter, hitting a big three like that is always going to put the momentum right back in your favor. It's going to be a tough look for the Vikings. It's going to be a little scary. Hopefully they come out firing, guns a-blazing like they have been in every quarter so far. Have to stay in the scoring column. Have to be aggressive. Do not turn the ball over like they have been. Those pickpocket steals, it makes it way too easy for the Eagles. Keep being aggressive. Keep getting shots up. Get the ball into Dalton Husband's hand. He has been dominant all night. Love to see what he can continue to do.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is where teams like to play it safe. And I would really hope Huntington North doesn't play it safe here, but teams like this in the fourth quarter is going to get conservative. And I just hope Huntington North keeps in that driver's seat, like we've said all night. They play better with aggression. So I want to see Huntington North come out aggressive and make mistakes. But at the same time, it's worked all night long.
Yeah, they got to take care of the basketball, run their offense. It can be slowed, it can be fast, however they need it to be, but they have to continue to do it.
Yeah, Bolin with the ball at the top of the key, gets it up to Campbell. Campbell setting up this offense. Campbell passed it off to Husband. Husband looking for Schultz on a curl, but they can't quite get it to him. They get it off to Freiberger on the left wing. 7:41 left in the fourth quarter. Freiberger gets it up to Bolin. Bolin looking to get a post entry, can't find it. And I believe that's going to be a timeout call on Huntington North.
Yeah, I think Huntington North wanted to run the set coming out of the quarter. They do it a lot. They love the sets when they get the break and get to talk about it, but didn't quite get the look they wanted. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication somewhere in there that allowed the Eagles to play great defense and keep the ball outside of within the arc. But Huntington North Coach Thompson just wants to talk it back over, probably get another set drawn up, probably get another opportunity for his guys to score 2 easy points.
Yeah, and it's just interesting to hear what these coaches talk about in these fourth quarter instances. Are we going to play it safe or are we going to attack? And I just hope to see Huntington North attacking. But I think you got to put the hands in Titus Schultz and Dalton Husband. I mean, those are two scorers, and Grant Campbell being that facilitator, that facilitating guard up top. I think we see a set here where it starts with Campbell, pass it off to Schultz, a little communication here between Schultz and Husband here for a shot underneath. I think that's what we'll see outside of this quarter.
Yeah, something to note, Braden Freiberger just now about to check into the game, but with the 3 fouls, he's been sitting a lot in the second half.
Campbell driving coast to coast, doesn't get its go. Rebounded by Husband. Husband arm is demolished, but no foul call. This is Clausen going the other way. Clausen passed it up to Deckman. Deckman to Richmond. Richmond driving, spinning, loses it, finds Elberly in the corner. He's driving. It's all over the place. Deckman passed it underneath, and that's going to be a foul on Huntington North. I just don't know how you can call that.
I think Campbell got a little aggressive on the backside of Richmond, knew he was in a very bad position, and really, honestly, that's not a bad foul. Campbell with just 2 on the game. He's done a great job of staying out of the foul category. Now he has something to give up. That's a tough look if you're Campbell. When you're behind a guy and he has all the leverage like that, that foul is not a bad foul by any means.
Yeah, I completely agree. They throw a lob into Richmond. Richmond looking to find a post. They pass it out to Deckman for 3. He's long and it touches the top of the backboard, so this will be sent the other way with Huntington North.
Yeah, it's a great shot. It's a great play. A good lob was set. Richmond didn't quite get it perfectly how he wanted, but Deckman, relocation in the corner, gets a great shot, couldn't get it to fall.
Yeah, Campbell is bringing up this basketball. Great handles out of the senior. Campbell going all the way, and that's going to be a foul. As they're trading fouls here, Huntington North, Columbia City, as Campbell will take this one out of bounds here for Huntington North.
Yeah, something we haven't seen all game are these fouls. Already 2 in the first minute of this fourth quarter. But Campbell, that was a great show of dribbling. Did a great job trying to split the defenders, but a foul's going to be called on the Eagles. I really like that aggression from Campbell.
Yeah, Owen Marshall will check into the game here for Columbia City. This is Campbell with the ball at the top of the key. He gets a screen by Freiberger. Campbell, some great defense. I think that could be a foul. That's going to be another timeout out of Huntington North as Campbell is really being pressured there.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game. They haven't done it yet until now. They had to put pressure on Grant Campbell. They know he's the primary ball handler. They know he wants to bring the ball up and be aggressive. Finally, they start to bring pressure to him. Trapping him in a corner forces Coach Thompson to take a timeout.
Yeah, Huntington North talking things over once again, just really taking their time. I think we're playing a little conservative. I mean, Coach keeps pulling us to the side, talking things over, and I think you got to let them play. That trust we've been talking about here for both these teams, I think you just got to trust your players and leave it out on the court. I mean, Huntington North has done a great job all night. You didn't call it early in the first half. Just let those players play. I mean, all this stoppage is you're not letting your players get into a kind of a flow state.
Yeah, not a lot of rhythm happening right now between the two teams. No points in the first minute 11 of the fourth quarter. I wonder if we'll see a little more aggression here out of the Vikings. Maybe a good set coming.
Yeah, Campbell has the ball at the top of the screen or top of the key. Campbell backing down his defender. He passed it off to Freiberger. Freiberger double teamed. Freiberger finds the open man as he throws in the layup, and that'll be a foul call. 2 free throws here for Huntington North.
Yeah, the Eagles ran a little bit of a defensive thing that you do see a lot in high school basketball. They allow the inbounds pass, and they say, all right, if you're guarding that first inbounds player, you are going right to the next pass. You're double teaming it, trying to force a turnover, but Blaine Freiberger has such great vision, and he's so calm with the basketball in his hand, finds his brother for an aggressive take and 2 free throws.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Way to be patient here out of the senior forward. I mean, he did not panic. He did not chuck it away right away. He waited till he saw the open man, dumped it down to it, which ended up being his brother, and he got free throws. He's made the first here, and he'll have a chance to make the second. And he drains it. Huntington North 38, Columbia City 29. 6:38 left before the end of the game, and I believe is that another timeout by Huntington North?
Yeah, Coach Thompson wants a full timeout. A lot of timeouts to give. They had 5 coming into this quarter. Hadn't taken one all game. Now we're taking 3. I think Coach Thompson just wants to be able to draw something up here defensively. Might see a full court pressure. You might see a half court zone, a little trickery maybe, like we saw earlier in the game with the fake outs. But Coach Thompson being very smart, he kept all of his timeouts. He knew his guys have been playing well all game. He let it flow, and now in the heart of the game, he's allowing himself to have these timeouts so that he can utilize them. There's no point in having 5 timeouts if you're not going to use them. And I agree with this timeout. It's going to give the Vikings 60 seconds to talk over what they need to talk over.
Yeah, if I had to guess here, I think we're going to come out with a man-to-man here. I think we're going to put the pressure on, really make them use those screens that they haven't been very beneficial tonight. We'll use our help side on the backside, and I think we could bring one guard up to do a full court maybe. We'll bring one guy up for the ball, but I think we'll see some fast-paced defense, or we'll see a drawn-out 2-3. I think we could force them beyond the arc. If you think about it, not many threes have been made here for Columbia City. We want them to shoot the ball. So I think we could see a 2-3 zone here, forcing three-point shots.
Yeah, the biggest thing is not allowing the wide open shots. When you allow the wide open threes, I've said before, it allows that team's percentage to go way, way up. When you give up those wide open threes, it's tough to not get them to fall all the time.
Yeah, here we go. Full court man-to-man press out of Grant Campbell. This is Eberly. Eberly has the ball. He passed it off to Marshall. Marshall in the paint. That is a turnover there by Marshall. Campbell has the ball in the backcourt for Huntington North. What a defensive set.
Yeah, Blaine Freiberger with a steal. The two Freiberger brothers do a great job of getting them passing lanes.
Bad turnover by Campbell, but he makes it right back up. Gets the basketball, finds Blaine. Blaine driving baseline. Blaine looking to make a move. Crosses his defender, finds Schultz. Schultz, little floater, little off balance, rebounded by Campbell. Campbell goes up strong, misses. Own rebound as he is tackled to the ground. And they just called a jump ball. That I have not seen something like that in a long time. I mean, he was brought over the back and tackled.
That's such a tough call to make as a ref. I will vouch for the refs on this one. That is very tough. As much as Campbell got kind of tackled on that, and it looks to be so bad, both guys had the ball. Both guys started to fall. At the end of the day, jump ball is probably the right call.
Yeah, I agree. Full court press here out of the Grant Campbell. This is Eberly. Eberly has the ball, passes this one off to Deckman. Deckman finds Marshall in the corner. He shoots another one. He finally finds his groove and drops the first. Timeout here. Timeout Eagles. Huntington North 38, Columbia City 32. 6-point game, folks. It's going to come down to the wire. 5:47 left.
Yeah, Marshall has a very long, drawn-out jump shot. He likes when the guys close out. It's weird to say, but on this one, he allowed his guy to close out and get a hand in his face, and he buried it. But earlier in the game, he was letting those guys stay back, and he was shooting it wide open. I guess his percentage goes up with a guy in his face. But at the end of the day, he makes a big shot. He has not shot well tonight. He only has 5 or 6 points. But now, when it means the most, he's putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah, and that's your general on the court. I mean, that's someone at the end of the game, if you put the ball in his hands, you can expect points. So I know early in this game it wasn't a part of this game so far, but he did a great job there knocking that three-pointer down and kind of flipping the momentum. I mean, you take this down to a 6-point game, they're clawing back here after halftime. I mean, it's just 1 point after 1 point. That Huntington North, they're a little bit conservative. I mean, they're just playing like they're just playing not to lose. You know, that's something you see out of a lot of football schools. You know, you get big at halftime and you play not to lose. I just think this Huntington North needs to put their nose to the grindstone and play to win here late.
Yeah, you can't make mistakes though. That's why you step off the pedal a little bit sometimes as players or even as a coach, is you're just so scared to make mistakes. But at this point in the game, they've made mistakes, but they prevailed. They've been able to make up from those mistakes. So I think you have to continue to be aggressive.
Yeah, Campbell doing a great job bringing this basketball up. He was full court press, gets it right down to Schultz. Schultz at the left wing. Schultz gets it to Husband beyond the arc. He passes that one off to Braden Freiberger. The Vikes moving this one up and around. They're looking to get it down to Husband, and they find him. Husband making a move on Richmond. Husband looking to get it up, and that's no foul call. This is the other way with Marshall. Marshall, no one in front of him, and I'm surprised he didn't attack that. Marshall with the ball on the left wing. He's driving in the lane, and that's going to be a foul call. Late in this game, these referees have switched to calling all these nicky-nacky fouls right at the end, when earlier in the game, they were letting everything go.
Yeah, a lot of aggression allowed by the referees, but now a lot of knick-knack fouls, like you say. Couldn't quite get that one to go. Something's going on here with Marshall and his jersey.
Maybe a little blood, I'm not sure, but they're having to wipe off his jersey. And I think you should come out of the game for that, but I don't know.
Yeah, usually I feel like you usually take those guys out of the game, but I don't think it was a lot of blood, so they allowed the trainer, to come over and pat that right back up.
Yeah, 5 minutes left before the end of the game. Huntington North with a 6-point lead here on the Eagles. Deckman has the ball at the top of the key for the Eagles. They get it off to Richmond. Richmond passes this one. Marshall has the ball in the corner now. Marshall shot faking, looking to drive, get his little jump shot. They get it to Deckman. Deckman passes this one off to Marshall. A little slow offense here by the Eagles. This is Richmond. Richmond in the paint. Finds Clausen in the other corner. They're whipping this one up around the arc, but this is Marshall. Marshall with the floater, and he gets it to fall.
Yeah, that's a great take by Marshall. Something he has not done all night is been able to get those open looks under the basket, and now he's starting to get it. This Columbia City crowd is riled up.
Yeah, because they're calling back. 4-point lead for Huntington North. Campbell has the ball on the right wing. Campbell gets it up to Schultz. This defense has taken a step up. This is Freiberger, little jumper, doesn't fall. And that's not a foul. That's going to be a foul on Grant Campbell. I just can't believe you called that.
Yeah, a little shove, I guess, from Campbell onto Clausen. That's going to be his third foul of the game. Fortunately for Campbell, that is only his third foul. Usually he is pretty stagnant on those fouls, getting up in those numbers. But Braden Freiberger, I like that shot earlier in the game, but it's such a long tough one to make late in the games.
Yeah, Eberle has the ball at the top of the key, gets it off to Deckman. Eberle looking to drive baseline. They get it down to Richmond. Richmond, a taller, skinnier forward, kind of struggles, passes this one out to Marshall. Marshall shot fakes, looking to get Deckman. They move this one into Eberle. Eberle finds Richmond for the easy layup. 2-point game.
Yeah, this Viking defense falling apart again like they did in the end of the first quarter. Coach Thompson's going to take a timeout.
Yeah, and they just need to talk things over. I mean, it's this Eagles defense. They're being so aggressive all of a sudden. Huntington North doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I think Huntington North has to stay within themselves in this last couple minutes. Just under 4 minutes left to go. They've gotten a little bit away from what they need to be at. Coach Thompson takes his fourth timeout, just one left. Went from having 5 to now having just 1. Now it almost looks like a mistake to take those 3 timeouts early in the fourth quarter. But just a 2-point game. Columbia City with all the momentum.
Yeah, this lead dwindles down to 2 points. I mean, Huntington North really has to. They've lost their aggressiveness. Like I said, they're playing not to lose, which Huntington North plays so much better when they're aggressive. I don't know what they changed. I don't know why they decided to do something else. But their aggressive feature, they've lost it a little bit. And so Huntington North, their lead has slowly been ticking away as it's gotten closer and closer and closer. And so, like I said, coming in the start of the game, it could be a 3-point swing either way. And it's within 2 points here late in the fourth.
Yeah, I'd like to see Huntington North. They are a very aggressive team. At the end of the day, they are very, very aggressive. We've talked about it. We know that. But aggressive teams late in games struggle, especially in great matchups like this. Aggressive rivalry matchups. They're going to struggle because they aren't allowed to be aggressive anymore. They start to play passive. They start to play not to lose like you've been saying. But at the end of the day, you have to play your basketball. You have to get great shots. And you have to be aggressive.
Yeah, Campbell has the ball in the backcourt for Huntington North. Campbell guarded by Clausen. Campbell crossing over, spinning away. Looking to get a little bit of motion here as they get in the corner. Great pass, though, by Campbell. Gets it to Husband out. A little bit of pressure. Campbell driving into the paint. Campbell should have gotten a foul. The Huntington North's not getting anything on their end of the court. So this is going to be Deckman with the ball on the other end. Columbia City will have a chance to take the lead. This is Richmond. Richmond driving. Richmond kicking to Clausen. Clausen to Deckman. Moving this ball up and around. Clausen shot fakes. Moving in between Deckman. Then this is Marshall. Marshall in the corner. Marshall struggles with the ball, loses it, passes it out to Clausen, and that's a costly turnover.
Yeah, Marshall had a lot of leverage, ends up falling, and then just got out of control. Something might be wrong with Marshall. Might have taken a shot to the face.
Yeah, he's got to come out of the game, I believe. I think if he doesn't, Huntington North really benefits here and will have a hurt Eagle on the court. Huntington North inbounds the ball as Marshall's wincing in pain. Huntington North moving this one up. Clausen a little bit handsy here. He gets it off to Freiberger. We got to get this ball to Braden Freiberger. I mean, he's the one that has Marshall on him, and Marshall's hurt. Huntington North has an opportunity. Schultz with the ball at the top of the key, guarded by Eberle. Campbell now. Some great defense here by Clausen. We've seen it all night long. And Blaine Freiberger loses the ball a little bit, and that's going to be a foul. I don't know how that's not a foul, but they're just really shoving tight here. And that is now Campbell with the ball at the top of the key. Campbell, they're having a hard count here, but Campbell with the ball on the top of the key. He gets it down to Dalton Husband. Dalton Husband with the ball on the right wing. Husband gets it down to Schultz, and that is going to be a foul there on Eberle. And that doesn't send us to the line, but we'll have the ball underneath to set up a play.
Yeah, the Vikings this whole time have been just trying to get the ball, underneath the basket in the post. They do a great job in the post. When they can get that one-on-one work, you can trust just about every guy on the court. Titus Schultz that time felt that he had the matchup for it and got fouled on the way trying to get the ball.
Yeah, Campbell has the ball in the corner. Campbell kind of driving here, passed it out to Freiberger. Freiberger, not much pressure. He puts one up, and it lays it in. What a nonchalant shot by the kid. I mean, what a play.
Yeah, kind of behind the backboard, a tough shot. Can't believe that one fell.
Yeah, 2:05 left in this contest. Huntington North 40, Columbia City 36. Huntington North, they're not getting the points yet. It still says 38 on the scoreboard, but this is going to be Marshall in the corner. Marshall struggling here. He gets it up to Eberle. Marshall driving baseline, has nowhere to go. He's struggling. He just launches it. Rebounded by Schultz. Schultz going the other way with some pace. Schultz lays in the 2-point bucket. Vikes up 6 now. Huntington North needs to stop, and Columbia City will take a timeout.
What a huge, huge, huge swing for the Huntington North Vikings. A great shot from Blaine Freiberger is going to start that up. Such a tough shot. Such a crazy way to get his team going. A wild shot from behind the backboard, gets it to fall. Then a massive steal from Titus Schultz and gets a fillet. What a shot. What a take. Coast to coast. That kid's been amazing tonight.
Yeah, and this packed Huntington North fan base filled the stands tonight, and they are on their feet. Huntington North very vocal tonight, but the Columbia City Eagles wanted to talk this one over. I mean, 6-point swing. You have to get up 7 points to win this contest with only a minute 38 left. And Huntington North, as soon as they get this ball, it's clock killing time. I think you got to be patient. You really got to watch St. John along the arc. St. John, a great three-point shooter. He's been a little bit cold since the first quarter, but he can turn it on real quickly. But we do see him in the game, yes. So we got to be aware of where St. John is at all times.
Yeah, he's a great ball handler. He can move really well. St. John's going to come in for Marshall. Marshall probably still battling that injury. Took one. I don't know if he took one to the face. I don't know. He might have taken a body shot. Unfortunately for him, he's going to take a seat. But the Vikings have to play great defense around the arc. They cannot allow a wide open three-pointer because three balls are devastating, especially in a 6-point lead. It only takes 2 shots to bring that score right back to even.
Yeah, and that's Clausen and Marshall. We really got to be aware of those two people are on the court at all times, and Eberle. And this is Richmond. Richmond kind of making a move. He's looking for Clausen in the corner. Costly turnover. Great hustle there by Campbell. Husband has the lane. Husband gets the foul call, and that'll send him to the line. 2 shots here.
Yeah, great job by St. John, honestly, in my opinion. Unfortunately, it results in a foul for him. But he being just a 5'7" or 5'8" kid, going at a guy like Dalton Husband, who's right around 6'3", 6'4", he knows he's not going to block the shot. He knows he's not going to have a good contest, so he went for the steal, missed the ball, got an arm a little bit. Dalton Husband's going to go to the line. But a great job by both Braden Freiberger and Grant Campbell being so aggressive. Grant gets on the floor, gets that ball poked away for Husband to take to the cup.
Yeah, and Husband makes the free throw crunch time. That's something I remember from the past 2 years, is that's been a struggle for him, just crunch time free throws. But the practice really shows. He's made that first one to extend this lead to 7. So Huntington North makes it a 3-score game at a minimum. Husband makes the second, nothing but net out of the senior center.
Yeah, something huge that he's developed. I know 2 years ago playing Carroll, he struggled to put the ball in the basket from the free throw line, and that ultimately they ended up losing that game on a game winner.
Yeah, Huntington North being aggressive from beyond the arc. This is Clausen for 3. He misses it, rebounded by Richmond. Actually, it's on the floor, a little scramble for it. Richmond back to Clausen. Time's ticking. St. John shot fakes. Gets it to Clausen. Clausen blocked by Freiberger. What a shot. He chucks it across. This is Deckerly. Deckerly passes out to Clausen again, and he drains it. But great defense. Time has expired. Huntington North 44, Columbia City 39. Only 48 seconds left.
Yeah,
Senior guard Campbell will take this up against the full court press. They get it up to Schultz. Schultz finds Husband. Now, with the ball on our side of the court, Huntington North is going to kill time. They get it to Schultz. They're wanting Schultz to get these free throws. Freiberger now, as they foul Blaine Freiberger, that'll send him in the line to the center.
Yeah, this Huntington North crowd is fired up. Man, they are so happy with this outcome so far.
Huntington North fans on their feet for this program. What a start and finish to this game. It's not over yet, but Huntington North senior center Blaine Freiberger will be at the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, 5-point game now. The Vikings really wanted probably somebody else to be at the free throw line to be transparent, but Blaine Freiberger has to have ice in his veins and knock at least one of these 2 in to make it a 6-point game.
And he does just that with the first one. Huntington North, 6-point lead left, 33 seconds. It's going to be hard to get these shots up. You're going to have to cause a really quick turnover out of Huntington North while rebounding the basketball.
Yeah, Huntington North has to guard up on St. John. They've been jumping at a lot of shot fakes, and I don't hate it because Freiberger got a block already on one of those 3 balls, but they have to also be able to rebound on the defensive side.
And honestly, that miss isn't bad for Huntington North. That's going to kill clock, 30 seconds left. This is Eberly at the ball. Eberly looking to get a quick shot, almost stolen by Campbell. St. John looking to chuck it all over the place. Eberly toe on the line. I don't think that's a 3. I believe that is a 2-point shot. That's a quick turnaround timeout, and I think they're going to give it to him. So I'm not sure about that, but a 3-point play, 21 seconds. All Huntington North has to do is hold that basketball. They're still up 3 points. So you just got to get it across the court. We're going to see a very big press. And the number one thing you see out of crazy presses is easy layups on the other end. Huntington North could find an easy bucket as long as they beat that quick pressure.
Yeah, taking care of the basketball and knocking in free throws is all Huntington North has to do to win this game. They cannot give up those 3 balls. They gave up. That's just about a wide open shot for Eberly in the corner, and he knocks it in. Ice in his veins, going to knock in that shot, make it a 3-point game, 45-42. Such a great finish here for the classic NE8 matchup. But Huntington North, take care of the basketball, knock in some free throws, get it to the guys that you need. Cannot turn it over.
I don't know about you, but I'm shaking, man. This is a great game. The atmosphere inside of this building is crazy. Huntington North with a 3-point lead right at the end of the game, 21.9 seconds. All Huntington North has to do is hold this basketball for 21 seconds or get a shot on the other end. That's all they got to do. So Huntington North running their set, gets it into Campbell. Campbell immediately double teamed. Campbell being pushed around, and he draws the foul. That's perfect for Huntington North as they'll get a pair of free throws. Campbell has an opportunity to seal this game. I grew up with Grant. He has been in his yard every day shooting that free throw. I have 100% faith in this kid as my friend.
Yeah, the Columbia City coach really thought that should have been a hook. But honestly, I thought Campbell was getting fouled way before he did his little hook on that dribble. But ultimately, it's still going to be a foul on the Columbia City Eagles for Grant Campbell to shoot 2 shots. Just 18.5 seconds left in this game.
Yeah, Campbell really needs to capitalize here. And he doesn't on the first. All he has to do is make one of these shots. Campbell has an opportunity here on the second here in crunch time. Huntington North 3-point lead, 18.5 seconds left before the end of this contest. Campbell at the line. Campbell lines up to take the shot. This crowd is loud. Campbell drains it for Huntington North, and the crowd goes wild. They're looking again to get it in quick. St. John struggles. Stolen by Huntington North. It's actually in the hands of St. John. St. John chucks it. He almost gets it to go. Rebounded by Campbell, and they're fouling. They're looking to foul right away, and I believe that will be it, folks. Huntington North fans on their feet for this Huntington North program. Upset here in the Eagles' Nest. Huntington North knocking off the number 1 NE8 team, third 3A team in the state, and they are coming into the Eagles' Den and getting work done tonight.
Grant Campbell, ice in his veins, puts this ball game to a 4-point game, but ultimately they forced a terrible 3-point shot out of St. John. But miraculously, he almost got it to fall. Ends up being a miss, bounce around. Grant Campbell ends with it for 2 shots.
And Campbell rims in the first one, extends it to 5. Hope is falling out of these Eagles fans. I mean, you can hear this crowd go silent as our side of the arena erupts. Campbell will have a chance to extend it to an even higher lead. Huntington North 47, Columbia City 42. Campbell drains the second, ice in this senior's veins. The moment he's been waiting for all his life. He gets it done. They chuck it in. Intercepted by Braden Freiberger. Freiberger holds the basketball as time expires for Huntington North. This crowd is on their feet for this program as Huntington North brings one home for this program. A great win, knocking off just an amazing program. This program is first in the NE8, third in the 3A poll, and 20th in all of the state. Huntington North coming into this Eagle Den and getting it done. I mean, what a win for Coach Thompson and the Vikings.
Yeah, I can't get a 301 numbered win without this team. Coach Thompson did a great job tonight, allowed his guys to play. This Viking student section is on the court, celebrating with their guys on this team. So happy for those guys. What a great win by the Huntington North Vikings.
Yeah, in our pit, talking to the other side of the court. We're in your house. We're talking to this game, waving them goodbye. Huntington North came into the den and got it done tonight. Just great, great win here at Huntington North as they send this Eagles team home with their second loss of the year.
Yeah, such a great win. It doesn't get much better than this. Just a 6-point end, but that game is closer than a 6-point win. That's a 2 to 3-point win. All it took was one more big shot from the Eagles. You have to give them credit. You have to give credit to Eberly. You have to give credit to Collison, who just did great jobs of making shots down the stretch. Great three-point shooters who showed how they can shoot. St. John did a great job as well early in the game to keep the Eagles close, and ultimately bring them back in that first quarter. But at the end of the day, the Huntington North Vikings, Grant freaking Campbell with ice in his veins at the free throw line. Phenomenal job from that senior. After missing the first free throw of the 4 that he shot, going 3 for 3 after that, did just a great job.
And then the Huntington North celebrating down on the court with Kevin Decker just getting into his face, just really getting hyped, showing this team spirit. Huntington North did a great job. You know, we said it early in the game. What mattered was this free throw line. We just said that 2 or 3 free throws can change this entire game, and that was exactly it. Huntington North got it done. Campbell in the crunch time, he was 3 for 4 right at the end of the game. Just did a spectacular job from that charity stripe. And on the exact other end, that's where Columbia City struggled. I mean, they really just struggled to get it done and with stats. And so, I mean, Huntington North did a great job from the line. Stats for our starters: Grant Campbell, 9 points, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. So Campbell didn't have free throws till the end of the game, but he came in clutch. Braden Freiberger, 10 points. Titus Schultz, 12. Dalton Husband, 12. So what it got it done tonight was not one player. It was all 5 of those starters. Blaine Freiberger, 5 points. All over the board. Huntington North just did a spectacular job.
Yeah, something to note that I was just told. This is the first time that the Huntington North Vikings have won in this basketball arena. The last time that they beat the Eagles at their home spot was in 2018, but that was the old gym. So the first time in the birdcage that they've allowed or that they've been able to come into this place and take a win straight from the Eagles. A phenomenal, phenomenal game. I have to give so much credit between the 3 guys of Titus Schultz, Braden Freiberger, and Grant Campbell being such great versatile guards. They did it all. They shared that points column together. They scored 31 points, and then Dalton Husband also with a 12-piece who dominated under the basket. The Vikings, they're 2 big guys, man. Blaine Freiberger and Dalton Husband, I think, overall, the course of the game, if you look at the big picture, were the biggest difference in this game. They showed that they can play defense around the perimeter as bigs. They showed that they can get under the basket and be aggressive and make shots that they needed to. But they just did a phenomenal job around the perimeter, handling the basketball, handling pressure. They showed their seniority in the way that they've had so much experience in these past 3 years. Phenomenal job from those 2 guys.
And then on the flip side, here for Columbia City, it was a lot out of Landon Richmond. 11 points. Camden Clausen, 6 points. He hit 2 big threes. Same with Ian St. John. He hit 2 threes as well. And then Owen Marshall finished with 7 points. He was very quiet in the first half, a little more vocal, getting his 7th points in the second, but just did an amazing job. And just 2 historic plays here tonight for the Huntington North. They just did an amazing job on all levels.
Yeah, when we look at Columbia City, if they shot very well from the 3-point line by the end of the game, but took a lot of 3-point shots that ultimately probably hurt them down the stretch.
Yeah, what a win tonight, Coach. I mean, just way to come into this Eagle Den and just really get it done. What can you really attribute to our victory tonight?
I think I'm going to give most of the credit to our cheer block. Those 6 man, they were fantastic. Could you guys even hear to talk to each other up here?
No, it was very loud.
It was loud. Yeah, give them the credit. That was great. And then a little bit I'll give to our guys. They played how we knew we could play, played together, never got too rattled, stuck with the game plan, and that's why we were able to pull it out at the end.
Yeah, coming into this arena and getting a big win, what does that win really mean for you and the team? Just this big knocking down the number 1 team in the NE8.
Well, little birdie told me this is the first time we've ever won in this gym, so that's a big feather in the cap from for our guys. Man, Columbia City is a very well coached and a very good team. So we had to play as perfect as we could at this point in the season to get the job done. Everybody that got in, no matter how little or how much, contributed extremely well. And if you do that, you're always going to have a chance. And we did. We withheld their runs and made some big plays on the defensive end late and hit our free throws when we needed.
Yeah, no, one thing I wanted to ask was out of the timeouts and out of the end of the quarters, our Huntington North Vikings come really fired up right after you have that talk to them. So how do you get your players hyped up and really keep them in this game, keep fighting?
Well, a lot of that is just confidence in themselves and confidence in the plan. Working hard all week. We put them in different situations, and again, nothing we can simulate like this environment. But it was really fun to hear them talking there at the end of the game when we're shooting free throws. We have some different scenarios we do that we like, and depending on the situation. And at one point, depending on what the score was, we do different things. So we hit our free throw, and I could hear him. We talked about it, but I could hear him telling each other, reminding, and that's what it's got to be. You can't do it by yourself in a team sport. You got to communicate, and you could really see that out here tonight. It was a heck of a game.
Yeah, what a win, Coach. Just great job coming in here and coming away with the win. We're very thankful for you being here. Just thank you for this interview.
Oh, thank you guys. It was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, see you bright and early.
Yeah, tomorrow
Get
afternoon.
to bed tonight, Ben.
I will. Thank you so
All
much,
right, see you
Coach.
guys. Thank
Yeah,
you.
tomorrow afternoon, Huntington North will be at home against Fort Wayne North Side in a 1:30 game in the Huntington North Bob Strait Arena Court.
Yeah, very exciting matchup. Fort Wayne North is usually a pretty good team, very athletic. In the past, Huntington North has struggled against them, not winning a lot of games at their place or at ours. Hopefully the Vikings can ride off of this victory tonight and not roll over and be drained for tomorrow. It's a tough turnaround. They're playing in less than 24 hours from now. They're starting that game, so hopefully the Vikings can just turn around and ride off of this victory.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Huntington North Viking basketball on Viking Radio, 91.9 WVSH. Huntington North came away with a victory against the Columbia City Eagles, 48-42, in a classic NE8 matchup. I'm Ben Roth, and this is Jimmy Linker, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 1:30. See you guys then.
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Huntington North Vikings basketball on Viking Radio 91.9 WVSH. Before we go, we'd like to thank the following sponsors one more time for making tonight's broadcast possible. Pippis State Bank, First Federal Savings Bank, Hartberg Roth Garrett Halverstadt Law, Nove, Rich Roofing Systems, and Wise Guys Downtown. Be sure to tune in all season long for the fast-paced action of Vikings basketball on your Huntington North Sports Authority, Viking Radio, 91.9 WVSH.